Hi, I'm Shaul. I have spent the last 2 weeks or so on a trip. Went with my wife to see her family in the UK. Since this trip was not centered around photography, I didn't bother packing a lot of gear. All I took was a camera, my trusty Nikon ZF, and two lenses, a 28mm and a 40mm, which eventually I hardly used. 95% of the photography I made was on the 28mm lens. I happened to take one of my favorite lenses, the Thypoch Simera 28mm f1.4. I find this is a Goldilocks lens for me. It's quite small because it has a Leica M mount. It's made for rangefinders and it can't be too big, so it doesn't cause much viewfinder blockage on a rangefinder system. On the other hand, its maximum aperture is quite fast. It's an f1.4 lens, and I love the way it renders the scene, the world. It has this pop, this deep structural feeling to the images it makes. It makes large images where textures and structures can be vividly represented. And by that, it makes the whole scene look dimensional. You can easily judge distances in the scene. Now, on that trip, I mainly managed to photograph landscapes in the lush North Yorkshire countryside. I am not a typical landscape photographer. I don't have the discipline, I don't have the patience to do landscape photography in a serious way. Well, landscape photographers are a cult. You would usually see them with a large backpack, so full of equipment. You won't catch landscape photography without a large, sturdy tripod. They like taking their time, selecting the right lens, positioning the tripod in the right place, leveling the camera, of course, and using some advanced technique to perform the photography, like bracketing, like very precise, careful composition. But I'm not like that, unfortunately. I tend to do reactive photography, so I do everything faster. When I see a scene I like, even if it's a landscape that is not moving, I will quickly bring the camera to my eye and take a quick snapshot, sometimes two, but not any more than that. I don't plan on cropping. I don't wait for the light to become ideal. I don't even use a tripod or filtered for that matter. I shoot landscapes a lot like I shoot people in dynamic, reactive situations. All I expect from the landscape photos I do is that they represent the scene in a true, lifelike manner. So you can feel immersed in the landscape. So you can feel that you're actually there. You can sense the dimensionality. You can sense the temperature, the atmosphere surrounding the landscape. And to me, this is what makes a good landscape photograph. A typical landscape photography, a serious one, would try to preserve as much detail as they can. So they would use the most high resolving lenses they can find and put it on a high resolution camera using techniques like bracketing to be able to avoid highlight clipping or muddy shadows. And they would use a large f number, a small aperture that would make everything in the scene in acceptable focus. So the entire photograph looks more or less sharp. I'm not a detail person. I like looking at the whole photograph, not just at small detail. I never really look at pixels. I don't enlarge the photographs I make. Sometimes I do print, but when you look at a print, you stand at a comfortable viewing distance. You don't really scrutinize details. So it's out of my scope. The Thypoch 28mm is not what you would call a typical landscape lens, because it's not very high resolving. It suffers from some chromatic aberration. It has some serious vignetting, even when you stop down a little bit. Its strength is elsewhere. It is a dimensional lens that is made to photograph dynamic scenes, organic subjects, like people in particular. This is why I like using it for the photographs I usually make. But I must admit it surprised me on this trip, because the same strength it has translated very well into landscape photography. The images it gave me are really lifelike. They are immersive. You can feel like you're there, which is my purpose when making those landscape photographs. This lens has a very nice way in which it renders gradations. There is a transition layer between adjacent surfaces. This is what makes it such a nice lens for organic subjects. It mimics the way we see with our naked eyes. Other more suitable lenses for landscapes are too harsh for my taste. They make transitions very sharp, and the contrast is a little bit too high. So the images they make are very precise in the scientific sense, but they are removed from the way we see the world in our daily lives. They do preserve small details in a better manner than this lens does. But when you look at the overall image, not just pixel peeping, you can't really escape the harshness. The images look flat. They might be very detailed, but again, when viewing the whole image from a comfortable viewing distance, you will not see those details properly. So what's the point? I'm shooting this video with a sibling of the 28mm Thypoch. It's the Thypoch 35mm f1.4. And it has the same type of rendition. If you look at this video on a larger screen, you can see that my face appears natural. It is not too harsh. It is not too flat. You can appreciate the proportions of my facial features, but without giving too much emphasis to skin blemishes, to small details. This is just the way I like my photograph to look. Now, the interesting thing is that this type of rendition can be achieved on older cameras. You don't need state-of-the-art technology to make such nice, natural images that preserve the scene's dimensionality. In fact, cameras with 12 to around 16 megapixels are rather adequate in order to make the most of lenses such as this one. And I really don't need more. In fact, I don't want any more detail than lenses like that can render. Sony released this week its latest and greatest camera. It's a 67 megapixel full frame sensor that can resolve so much detail with a good lens. But is it really necessary? I'm not sure. It doesn't flatter the subject, doesn't flatter the viewer of the images. It is a highly precise scientific tool that meets a standard that is way more than a human subject looking at the photo. It is made for scientific photography, for industrial inspection, not for the benefit of a human viewer looking at a nice photograph. The technology embodied in such cameras is, of course, impressive. It offers the consumer with the latest innovation in imaging science. But it's not really needed, not for us amateurs anyway, not even for professional photographers. Of course, if you crop a lot, you might need this type of resolution. You might want to use only a small part of the image you made and print it large, or at least display it on a large scale. And that would make a high-resolving system necessary. Nonetheless, a cropped image will always look cropped, especially if it's an aggressive crop that uses only a small portion of the captured image area. But that is a discussion for a different video that I might make quite soon. If you like my channel, if you find videos like these helpful to you in any way, please consider buying me a coffee. There's a link in the description below. It's a nice gesture between gentlemen. Thank you for watching, and see you again soon.